talk though. So like, I mean, the biggest thing back then is just the stability. My mom, like our family was going through obviously a difficult time, as a lot of families do in life. Sometimes you go through that hardship, but it was not being able to really focus on something where you start focusing on things that are out of your control, like where you're going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So those become distractions. And then you're not really able, we talk about like, you know, you got all the talent in the world, but if you can't focus on developing yourself because you're trying to focus on things that are out of your control, like how your light's going to stay on and things like that, then it becomes a big problem. So at that time, believe it or not, Dennis Beatty was the first person to really identify that there was something seriously going on. And we share, you know, we go back to Mo and I used to sit out on the field and have to do Oklahomas. They don't even allow Oklahomas to be. What kind of wine is this? We should introduce.
That's a Merlot. That's a Merlot.
Merlot. Can we get a sponsor? Can we get a sponsor? Who is this? What is that? How you say that? Oh, you don't. You know that. You went to Rutgers.
Oh wow.
You can't even read it.
Exactly. That means that.
Shanti.
Chianti. Boom.
It's an Italian word. It's an Italian word.
Ashanti. That's what we're thinking of.
And then here's the funny part though.
Oh,
when you said that,
I think he wanted.
No, when you said that, he like agreed with you.
Well,
And both of y'all was dead ass wrong.
Hey, no one said that we were wine connoisseurs.
No, but what's crazy is that hearing y'all two stories as I'm in high school and I'm hearing about the other top talent around the state. Because I really believe though that the talent pool was in our area heavy, more than everywhere else.
But if not even in our city.
That's what I'm saying. But
Britain.
think about it, from Southington to Berlin to New Britain, yeah, teams were making it to the finals, but
Bristol Central
if they made it out of here in this area for the Class LL, for example, like it was New Britain, it was Shelton. Those teams were making it to the dance, which was with Greenwich at that time. But for you, you know, I don't remember hearing anybody else in your era that was like Maurice Humphrey. Even in your conference, like I'm talking about Maloney's and the. I don't remember those cats being like dominant like you.
No, because I'll give you an example. Fitch was in our Fitch was in our class, and again, I talk about the guy George Hall. So George Hall, who I put in my top 5, went to Purdue, was all state, won three state championships. So that's the guy.
Yeah.
George Hall. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, you got guys like that, but that's anywhere. Like even like, you know what I'm saying? So like. Again, Class L is Class L. You know what I'm saying? Like we played Class L school. We played Maloney. We played Bristol Central. Why don't you ask Tim Washington what happened when we played them?
No,
3 touchdowns gave him the work.
But real quick though, y'all stories. I'm hearing what I was thinking was, dang, here I was going through what I was going through and not having any idea what y'all two was going through. Right? Everybody knows I'm from Ohio.
Right, but
people don't know.
You went through a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Before,
but my point is, I had no idea that y'all was even going through that stuff. I'm thinking y'all just out here balling with no worries.
You think we living like Fresh Prince, living like Will Smith.
And it's crazy you say that because that is a very big. That's a problem with everybody, right? Like. You think that you're the only person enduring certain, you know, hardships, and little do you know, if you have a little bit of a conversation with people, next thing you know, you start peeling back the layers. You find out that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? And then we're able to lean on each other and build each other up and help.
No, I was building up with you. You from Southington, and I hated you.
He said you were.
I know, but
I hated you. I'm like Ryan Glasper. Oh yeah, he they dog. I'm looking at him and one more.
But you know what? I wish.
We didn't get to face each other either until college.
Never?
No, in college.
In college, if I can go back and just say one thing that I would change was I wish that we all had a better relationship with each other as far as working out, going to camps together, doing that type of stuff. Because
despite being in different schools,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the generation of today. Which you can do that with social media to make friends from all over the place.
But we didn't want.
Here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. Going to camp. I had no money. I had no money to get to no camps.
That's why I not only started this channel, which is Motv Network. Not only that, but in this podcast where the stories of the athletes tell these stories. Again, 3 years ago, I started this thing called K4L, Kids for Life. And again, one of the things that we do is we try to give kids those opportunities. Okay. One of the things that we're doing this year is that we're taking 10 kids on trips to Penn State.
Yeah.
To go to games, to be able to meet Coach Franklin, my boy Alan Samaitis, that played at Tampa for the Tampa Bay Bucks. He was an All-American. quarterback, drafted, all that. Big shout out, AZ. He is the recruiting coordinator there.
At Penn State now?
Right, yeah. So we've already talked about like bringing kids up there. Penn State chapter, even Nittany Nation, there's 21,000 people on Nittany Nation, 18,000 active every day. They're coming on board to be able to help kids in K-4 for the program to get them to these camps. Kids that are talented and that deserve to go, but you got to be academically ready to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's no point in you going up to that school if you're not academically ready.
Right.
Period. So.
And that's real quick. I want to say this. I don't know if people knew this. I wasn't a great student, but by no stretch of imagination was I a bad student. Like I always was eligible.
Right.
And it's funny because I tell cats right now, like I told my son, I'm like, you got to be clearinghouse eligible,
right.
Which I was.
Right.
But as hair on my chinny chin chin, with no guidance though. No, y'all laughing, but no one ever told Justin to do his homework.
Right.
I didn't live in Connecticut with my family. I lived with my brother,
right.
Who then thereafter he and I split. And from my sophomore year on,
right.
I lived with everybody else.
Right.
So like you said, you didn't know where you're gonna stay from time to time. You know you're gonna stay from time to time. I had to worry about too. Am I eating too much food? Am I gonna be able to stay here tonight? This went on for 3 years.
100%. That's 100%, bro. Because I can remember that. Because I remember senior year you were staying with. I don't know if I should say this, but you were staying with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I can remember when I moved back with my sister and everybody. You know what I'm saying? My family in New Britain, and we got a lot more. We got a lot close. Oh, he wasn't. We got closer. Mm-hmm. I seen your situation. I was just like, damn, like, he's in a situation. He ain't like the one that I just left because I'm being real. I love you, Cap, but I was tired of that shit.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I swore on this thing. I was tired of that. I was tired of being and saying, you can't go do this. You gotta be home by 9 o'clock. When all my boys that are seniors are going out and hanging out, I can't even stay over my boy's crib.
But he wanted to protect you, man.
And I understand why.
As a father today?
No. Again, as a father now, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand. If my little nephew Darius do a cartwheel in my house and my son's close to him,
yeah,
I will do nothing. I will put him in the corner and tell him to be quiet.
It's very
you know
difficult,
what I'm saying?
Man.
But
this task is given to men as fathers. When you become a dad,
first of all, he is a dad. You know what I'm saying? He is a dad. It's not about if these kids are your kids.
I'm talking about when he has his kid. I'm talking about when he has a kid, when he creates his family. Yeah.
He has a family. His family is created.
I have a family.
His family is created. His girl that he's with, she got 2 kids.
Biologically, I do not have.
Oh, okay.
But that don't matter.
That doesn't matter.
That's irrelevant.
No, you're a dad.
I'm in the game.
I live this life. We all have children, so now you guys understand. Like when you make these decisions about your life and how you look back on it, where you could have been better. It's like, how dare you not try to make your child or make sure your child is in a better situation than you? And sometimes as a dad, man, a lot of times we get the hard stuff.
Right.
We got to be the hard ones. We got to say no. We got to challenge you. And nobody says anything.
I'll tell you a story that just happened this weekend. I got my daughter, over the house, and she, she's in karate now. So she want to watch Cobra Kai. She want to watch all the time. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But she wants to do karate in the house all the time, doing kicks, cartwheels, backflips, front flips. And I'm like, look, at your mom's house, you're the youngest, your brother's 11, 12, you can do the cartwheels, you're not gonna hurt him. When you here, you got your little brother here, he just turned 3. Yeah, he's almost your height, he just turned 3. So if you're doing cartwheels and front flips and you kick him in the mouth or do something to hurt him, that's why I'm telling you not to stop doing it. She listened for 5 seconds, she ended up doing it again. So
how old is she?
She's 7.
Short-term memory.
Right, so then I gotta be dad, right? Come over here. You're not listening to my girl looking at me like, you need to chill out, don't talk. But for me, I'm like, I gotta be dad to her and tell her this stuff because I need her to understand where I'm coming from when she gets even older. So I'm telling her this like, you need to come over here, right here in front of me, because I gotta say something to you. I told you already to stop. This is reenacting. I told you already to stop doing cartwheels and front flips in his house because you're gonna hurt your little brother. Didn't I tell you that? She goes, yes. I go, you don't want to listen, right? She goes, I didn't listen. I go, okay, so now what you're about to do is you're about to go upstairs and you're gonna think about this, okay?
This is my middle son. He's 10 years old. I literally tell him this all the time, but I had to look him in the face. And I told him, I want you to, he's fidgety because he's in trouble now. So now he's like, now look at me. I said, stop what you're doing. Put your hands out of your side. Look me in my eye. But the stuff you talk about comes from the discipline was given to you by Cat that
100%.
we learned from sport, and we now transition that from football into adulthood. Into life.
But I'm gonna tell you exactly what ended up happening now. So she go upstairs, she's crying, she upstairs. So I wait 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. I'm looking at my girl looking at me like, you better go upstairs right now. I'm like, I'm going. I go in the kitchen, whatever. I grab the iPad and charger. I bring it upstairs to her. You good? Got the iPad. You good? Okay, come here. You want a hug? Like, give me a hug. Listen, I just need you to listen. Like, we gotta be your brother, a little nap. So why don't you stay up here and watch this iPad and watch a movie? So again, you gotta give the discipline, but you also gotta show the love. You know what I'm saying? So again, at the same time, this is all about family. And again, and we learn these lessons to be able to teach our kids. You know what I'm saying? Because again, kids are hard-headed. They think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? They think we haven't gone through nothing. You know what I'm saying? And what this TV network shows about, and especially stories of athletes, is be able to tell your story. Don't be embarrassed about your story. Your story can help the next kid.
Right.
So whatever you went through, whatever you've been through in life, guess what? Tell that story. Where you are now in life, guess what? You've learned from that experience in that situation. So you want to be able to tell that story so that the next kid don't make that mistake.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's what this is about. Again,
hold on, real quick. I got one more thing for you. We talk about guidance and how important that stuff is, and it's extremely important. For my brother, example, who was the one that was my primary caretaker, when I moved to Connecticut, he's responsible for me. But there's the stuff that he didn't know that would allow me to be better going into my college experience, right? So here I am. I'm the number one player in the state of Connecticut going on my senior year, right? Everybody knows that. I'm the number one player, right? And then, but the thing is that here we are. I got Jack Cochran coming after having 3 years of Cordell. I got a guidance counselor. I have my brother who I know loves me, and I have the head coach in Lynn Cordell.
I gotta respect
Cochran.
you.
Cochran comes in, right? Here I am, going in my senior year, top player, one of the top players in Connecticut, if not the top player. And Jack Cochran sits down with me.
You can't say you're one of the top players, but
if not the top player. I said if not the top player, one of the top players, if not the top player, because I'm trying to give you a little respect. And I want to give Temple some respect, and some other guys around the state that were good during that time. Even though in my heart of hearts, I'm the criminal. But anyways, my point is, no. In all seriousness, like we talked about the guidance, right? And here I am. I have a head coach, a guidance counselor, my brother who I know loves me, and Jack Cochran comes in 10 minutes says, "Hey, Justin, we're gonna go over your." I'm talking. We're gonna go over your college eligibility stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm straight. I ain't failed no classes. I'm good. See, I got to see. I'm at least a C average or better. I know what I'm going to do with SATs. He's like, yeah, you're missing a math. I said, what? He said, yeah, to be college eligible, you're missing a math. I said, so what does that mean? He said, if you don't get this math, you're not even going to college. You can't go to college. I said, what? Now, mind you, where's my guidance counselor? Where's my brother? Where's my head coach that has seen all the coaches walk through this door to recruit me?
Right.
And no one saw this. And Jack Cochran, who people will say whatever about the man, he did it in 5 minutes. He went through my unofficial, and this is what you need. If it's not for that, I don't go to college. Right. So that's what I'm saying. You talk about the guidance. The people that were supposed to be there for me were not.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, I feel like Jack Cochran is 100%, I feel like, the #1 coach in Connecticut's football history. There's a lot of other guys I feel like that are in that conversation too when it comes to helping kids and just really being there for kids, right? But I feel like Jack Cochran is that guy.
I'm gonna ask him, who do you think it is?
I think it's Jack.
To be honest with you,
and that's just me. And I couldn't.
I know, Mo.
I couldn't play for. I probably could not play. What? I probably couldn't.
Ask him. We know what you think. I want to know.
Nah,
I know, but I'm just go ahead.
No, honestly, as far as like getting kids prepared and knowing the process on how to get kids, good athletes from high school into college and things like that, I would have to say Jack.
And the reason why I wanted to ask him is because
Jack Cochran does.
We got to call a spade a spade.
Right.
Their program was good for a very long time under the same guy for a very long time. Drew Kelly. So that's why I asked. Now my guy, he was whatever.
They're totally different coaching styles. Totally different coaches. Like they're not like. Don't get me wrong. They're both in a class of elite coaches, but they're totally different coaches. If you're talking about somebody who knows, if you look at Coach Cochran's, like his resume is incredible. Yeah, and then you look at all the young men that he has that played Division I football that he has helped get into college, and then you even look at how many guys he's had underneath him that played in the pros. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So like
the preparation is you can't even. The bottom line is that I hated Jack Cochran in high school. My whole senior year, I could not stand this man. It took me becoming an adult and growing up to realize like he was teaching me something that was far greater and going to serve me far longer than football would. Right? No one's bigger than the program. You're going to do what all of us do. Right? None of my sons are better than any other sons. You're going to do what the family does. So I equated really easily to life. And Jack would say, listen, son, I'm going to challenge you and no one ever challenged me. And that's the thing, like, my son who's a phenomenal athlete, they're all going to be good athletes. I tell him right now, I said, you are not as good as you can be because you haven't realized your potential. And that's what Jack wanted you to do, realize your potential. Like, I would be running out there conditioning and I would hear him say, don't quit, don't give in. And that's what life is. For men, life is like your max bench press with no spot.
You know what's so crazy is that, and I say I hated Jack only to the point where like he coached me during our senior year, and I was just like, no, this dude, I know me, and I'm like, this week with this guy, I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, he's not.
But at the same time, I can remember my junior year. We were playing Middletown for the conference championship, and I can remember like, you know, playing offensive defense. I scored 2 touchdowns, pretty much iced the game. And after the game, Kat said something to me that stuck with me. Like, it really stuck with me as far as like the next level of like where I had to really take my work ethic and everything. He told me that Jack Cochran thought that I took plays off. And I'm like, you talking about me taking plays? I took plays off? When? He's like, no, he's saying like you take plays off. You can be better, but you take plays off.
Jack's legit.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like,
there's a borderline
that's
crazy
right?
you have to have to be great in anything that you choose to do. There's a level of, it's just the way it is.
But he was right, because when I look back at some of the tape, because I have tape from high school, and I look back and I'm like, yo, this guy did this and he got 10 more yards. I'm over here. If I would have just hustled a little bit more, I could have probably tackled him for a loss. Because I'm the fastest guy on this field, period. So if I'm here and I get from here to here, and I just put a little bit more effort in, I'll make that tackle for a loss and they don't get a first down. So it was like little things like that Jack saw and was like, you take plays off. At times where like we might be up 7. A team has the nerve to kick the ball to me.
Yeah, that's disrespect.
And I take
That's disrespect.
and I take the playoff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I take the playoff. Maybe I fair catch it. Maybe I just let it bounce. Maybe I just and it was one of those things was like, you received that ball and you're the fastest, you're just scoring. I take the playoff. And he's seen this stuff, and then when Cat would point that out to me,
ice cream?
I was like, oh, I really gotta take it to a whole nother. That's why my senior year, I went bonkers. Bonkers, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying, on 2 broken ankles.